Hello everyone, glad to be back. Today is 22nd of February, now it's half past 2, middle of the day by Moscow time. I'm Levan Gudadze and this is my channel in which I share latest updates on the news that are making headlines in Russian media outlets and Russian language pages on different internet platforms. There is quite a few very significant developments and news that I like to share with you for this moment, but before I start, let me once again emphasize how grateful I am for your time, attention and support. That means a lot to me, so thank you very much. And of course, I have to mention that we did reach 5,000 subscriber mark. And when I say we, I mean all of us, entire community. And this is, of course, great, absolutely great. You should see me yesterday. I was sitting next to the comp and waiting when we will reach 5,000, and we did. So once again, thank you to all of you. And of course, I have to mention that, and I have to say special thank to all of you, my friends who support me with donations through PayPal or Patreon. I cannot even explain how big of a deal your support is to me, because as you know, from beginning of the March, I will start looking for a job in Russian media, and if I had support through my channel, then I will have some leverage and I may take job in media outlets with a low pay. But for this point, I mean, to get into the big journalism is a main goal. And once I will be in any media outlets, then I'm quite sure with my work I will deserve pay rise. Am I talking right English? And if I have some income from my YouTube channel, then I can somehow manage to provide my family. So it's it's very important, and I'm very grateful for your help, guys. So that's been said, let's talk about news now. And as I said, there is quite significant developments. For example, RIA Novosti is reporting here that according to official from DPR, Donetsk People's Republic, Yan Gagin, Russian side, Russian forces, and in this case, units of PMC Wagner, now are conducting offensive operations in almost in the city center of the Bakhmut, which is, huge development really, because I was surprised when I see this information. Let me show you on the map, Bakhmut. I was thinking that fights in Bakhmut are still going on in the outskirts of the city, but according to Yan Gagin, units of PMC Wagner now are conducting offensive operations around city center. And he also said that it's only a matter of a few days when Ukrainian forces, he didn't say it few days, he said it's matter of near future, let me say this way, when Ukrainian forces will start leaving Bakhmut. So he must have some information, otherwise he will probably did not make this kind of statement. And it's quite logical, really, to expect that Ukrainian forces will start a withdrawal. I did talk about this subject many times in my previous videos, and all of you probably know very well what kind of situation is developing in Bakhmut and in surrounding areas, including Chisov Yar. I did mention yesterday or day before a statement that was made by Zelensky himself when he said that it's not when he said that Ukrainian forces don't fight for Bakhmut by any cost. And that was clear indication that they are preparing ground for withdrawal. And they may try to establish some defense line in and around Chisov Yar, but to be honest, I don't think that they will be able to build up some really strong defense line here. They may try, of course, but so this is huge development, really. Now PMC Wagner is in city center, almost in city center of Bakhmut. When it comes to, let's say, Seversk, north side of Bakhmut, we have information that Russian side is still trying to push in direction of Liman and Yampol, but for now we cannot say that it's some breakthrough is happening in this direction. Main development was when Kadyrov did state, that head of Chechen Republic, that Russian side did establish control over the railway, which was used by Zelensky's regime to supply Seversk. So I assume garrison in Seversk in near future will start experiencing some issues with the supply of ammunition and provision. When it comes to Donetsk direction, many hot points here, Of course, Marinka, one of the still hot points, and this town is divided between Russian and Ukrainian forces. But we had information, for example, it's still RIA Novosti. The Russian Defense Ministry said that in Donetsk direction, in previous 24 hours, Ukrainian forces lost up to 250 military personnel killed and wounded. So this must be indication that some heavy fighting is going on in this area, in the Donetsk direction. But overall situation on the front line is stable. Is it right word to say it? No big breakthroughs from any side, really. Exception should be Bakhmut, because as I said, I was surprised when I see this information that Russian forces are now in city center. I didn't expect such a fast advance from PMC Wagner units. So yeah, let's continue. This is update from Russian Defense Ministry about previous 24 hours, and I will give you some information on Kupiansk direction. Ukrainian armed forces lost more than 40 soldiers. On Krasnolyman direction, some fighting is going on, as I just mentioned, and the Russian side did manage to destroy Gvozdika howitzer and D-20 howitzer, also 4 armored personnel carriers, and 1 BMP. This is also basically also armored personnel carrier. So why they are stating that BMP, 1 BMP and 4 other armored vehicles, or I don't know. But yet again, I mean, this is Donetsk direction information. I just read it to you, that I just share with you information about huge casualties that Zelensky's regime had in Donetsk direction. It's up to 250 killed and wounded. Also 5 armored personnel carriers were destroyed, 6 other vehicles, and also howitzer D-20. And then on south Donetsk direction, 2 armored personnel carriers also were destroyed, and 2 other vehicles, 1 howitzer of D-20 and 1 howitzer D-30. As you can see, I mean, this war is artillery war basically, and that's why we are seeing on daily basis that Russian side is actively hunting on artillery of the opposite side. So yes, I mean, I will share statement from Russian Defense Ministry. I will translate it, or I will share already translated statement on my Telegram channel, and you can read it in details. And by the way, you can subscribe on my Telegram channel. You will see link in the description. I do share many informations during the day on my Telegram, and you may find it useful. And we can keep Telegram channel as some reserve line of communication in case if Russia blocks YouTube, or if YouTube blocks my channel. I mean, anything is possible. For example, I just shared a few minutes ago on my Telegram this video when Russian President Putin is meeting Chinese foreign minister, high-ranking Chinese official. I mean, I'm not quite sure if this Wang Yi foreign minister, or how his status is really, because it's he's a high-ranking official of Communist Party and Politburo. He's member of Politburo, so I call him foreign minister. That may be not exact status that he has, but I also shared a few minutes ago this information that Ukrainian armed forces did shell Belgorod region, Shebekino settlement, and one shell did hit a shopping mall, and you see fire. One person was heavily injured during this attack. So you can see what Zelensky's regime does, man. They are just shelling in direction, and they don't really care who will be casualty of the attacks. So let's continue. This is quite interesting, really. TASS news agency reporting that Medvedev, former Russian president and current deputy of Security Council of Russian Federation, Dmitry Medvedev, stated today that world is facing a global conflict if Washington's goal is to defeat Moscow. And he said that Russia will defend itself by any means, including with the nuclear weapons. So, as you can see, man, it's I mean, quite obvious. I was talking about this many times in my previous videos, that if Western elites will continue to push Russia, if they continue to escalate time after time, then one day Moscow may find itself in a situation when Putin and his associates, his close circle, will see no other option other than use of extreme force, and by this I mean nuclear weapons, and that will be devastation for that may become devastation for entire world, because we are talking about nuclear weapons, for God's sake, and former Russian president is directly are saying that if it's necessary, then Russia will use nuclear weapons. So it's truly time to wake up for all of us, man, on this planet, if we want to save this world. And we should somehow influence Western elites so that they will stop this constant escalation against Russia. Let's continue, and that's news from Kommersant newspaper about escalation. Yet another step of escalation from West, and this time Bloomberg is reporting that U.S. will deliver to Ukraine JDAM bombs, guided bombs, and these bombs are kind of unique in a sense, because they are modernized and they can basically fly up to 45 miles, which is 72 kilometers, when they are dropped. So that's how it looks, basically. And I mean, of course, this is one more step towards escalation. In my opinion, Zelensky's regime don't really have that many planes to actively use this ammunition, for example. But still, this is an example of how careless U.S. Elites really are with this constant escalation. Let's continue. We have a statement from Dmitry Peskov, spokesperson of Russian president, and Peskov said that there is no any contacts with the administration of Biden about possible meeting between Russian and U.S. presidents. As you know, yesterday Putin did stated that Russia will, Russia is stopping treaty about reduction of strategic offensive weapons, and I already talked about this topic in my yesterday's video. I see no reason to repeat myself, but basically I did read the news yesterday that from Washington, at least, there were some statements made that US is ready to discuss with Russia this treaty, and that's why Peskov was asked probably if there is any contact between the sides to prepare meeting between between Putin and Biden, but he said no. For now, there is nothing done in this direction. And we have RIA Novosti, which is reporting, this is continuation of the topic, that Russian Duma, let me translate this for you. So State Duma adopted the law on the suspension of Russia's participation in a treaty about reduction of strategic offensive weapons. So it's official now, and as I said yesterday, man, main reason why, if I understand correctly, main reason why Russia suspended its participation in this treaty was that Moscow wants other Western nuclear countries to become part of this treaty one way or another. But yet again, man, I'm quite sure Beijing don't take this lightly, because I did said yesterday that West will pause for some time, and they will say, okay, we are ready to discuss this issue, but let's bring to the table China too. And we will see exactly that. I'm quite sure about it. And Chinese may, not be happy about this decision of Moscow exactly because of this. Because they know West wants China to become part of some treaties that will, not allow Beijing to increase its offensive strategic weapons. And as you know, by 2035, according to some sources, Beijing plans to increase its nuclear warheads up to 900. And they are, I'm quite sure they didn't sign any treaty which will not allow them to achieve that goal. But when it comes to, in general, if we are talking about reduction of strategic offensive weapons, of course, on paper it looks great, I'm also for all for reduction of nuclear weapons, and who is who is against this really? But I don't think this is realistic, man, because China will refuse to participate. Let's continue. Let's continue. This RBK news agency is reporting here that, according to New York Times, sources of New York Times, China is trying to distance itself from Moscow lately, and New York Times is, giving us an example when Chinese foreign delegation of, foreign minister conducted some official visits to Western states, and he was quite cautious in his statements about Russia and about support of Russia. And I'm not surprised really, because even though officially Moscow and Beijing are stating that relationships between countries are great, in reality, I do have some doubts about this. And these relationships will become even more difficult after yesterday's statement from Putin about this treaty about reduction of armed forces. This is continuation of the topic. As I just mentioned, officially Moscow and Beijing are stating that relationships are great, and here RIA Novosti is reporting about statement that Lavrov made, that Moscow and Beijing are ready to defend interests of each other on an international stage, which is, yes, I mean, yet again, on as a statement, it's good, but when it comes to reality, relationships are not that great, in my opinion. Despite the fact that West is pushing Moscow towards, China, indirectly. So let's continue. This is RIA Novosti again, and we have information here that Kazakhstan will start exporting its oil to Europe by Druzhba pipeline. So Kazakhstan's oil will be transported through Russia and Belarus, as I understand, and we are talking about some 1.2 million tons that Kazakhstan is planning to export to Europe. And yes, this is opportunity for Kazakhstan to take new positions on the European market, because Russia is reducing its deliveries, and at some point there will be no Russian oil directly exported to West, probably. So of course Kazakhstan in good position now to use this opportunity and establish its positions in European market. Great for Kazakhstan and for Russia too, because Russia will receive payment for transit of this oil, so it's all good. Let's continue. This is RBK news agency, which is reporting that yet again it's about energy, and EU lost up to $1 trillion because of this policy of sanctions against Russia, and because of EU's refusal, basically EU's embargo on Russian oil and gas. And this is huge, man. $1 trillion is a huge number even for EU. No matter how great EU economy is, 1 trillion is a huge number for any economy, really. And this number will probably grow in the future, because not that many countries really are in this world that can provide EU with energy that was before was imported by EU from Russia. And no matter which country will supply you with oil or gas, price is gonna be very, very high compared to price on Russian oil and gas. So eventually Europe will pay much bigger price than 1 trillion. Ordinary Europeans will pay. I mean, sadly, this is not the elites that are pay anything. I mean, they did not care really, probably. But ordinary Europeans are pay, and this is sad because, I mean, us ordinary people, we are, as I said many times, we are on one side, and those so-called elites are on the opposite side. And we are, seeing class war now, isn't it? Between society, majority of which is ordinary citizens like us, and elites, so-called elites, because I mean it's hard to call them elites, man. Those stupid idiots, man. So this is gonna be last news for today. I did talk about a few days ago about Iran's attempts to establish itself on a Russian market. Iran's car manufacturers, and we have information here that Iranian companies Saipa and Iran Khodro now are on final stage of getting certifications for the cars, and near future we will see Iranian cars on Russian market, which is great. Yet again, I mean, I'm all for increase in trade relationships between Russia and Iran. And Putin yesterday did mention this new trade route, north-south, and Iran is crucial part of this route. So yes, I mean, in the next years and in future years, we will definitely see increase of trade partnerships between Russia and Iran, and this is great. This is great. So yes, this is it for now. This is it for now. Let me update this page, if any update. So this is latest news. I will read it for you. Putin stated when he was meeting with 1E. Let me translate his position. Because as I said, I mean, he is a representative of Communist Party, and with the head of the Office of the Foreign Affairs Commission of the Central Committee of the Communist Party of China. That's a title, man. Holy moly. So yeah, when Putin was talking with this 1E, it's just greetings, man. They did greet each other, and I don't see any huge statements. Yes, Putin says that Russian and Chinese relationships are getting, better and better. And yes, I mean, just ordinary talk, man. Nothing special, really. So yes, this is it. This is it for now. And this is it for now. I hope you find this video interesting, and if so, please hit that like button and leave some commentary. As you know, more likes and comments my videos will have, more chances are that YouTube algorithm did not suppress them too much. And please, if you can, share links to my videos or my channel with your friends on Facebook, Twitter, Patreon, Facebook, Twitter, Telegram or any other platform that you are active on. And I just mentioned Patreon. I mean, if you can and if you want to support my channel, you can do it by Patreon or by PayPal. You also see links in the description. This is it for now. Thank you very much and take care.